I feel the need for speed. I'm kidding. I'm sorry for my appearance. Okay. I had a fun week and I thought I'll just dress up and have a little fun with that. Okay, hold on a second. Alright guys, what's up? So I just saw Top Gun Maverick over the weekend. The movie satisfied me as a Tom Cruise fan as well as a movie going audience. It was just perfect in every way. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Here's my review. Hey guys, what's up? So in terms of the plot, there will be a few spoilers here. I'll try to avoid most of them, but there'll be a few spoilers going forward. So in terms of the plot of this movie, it takes place 30 years after the events of the first movie, Top Gun. So Pete Mitchell's character, he's a lot more older than he was in the first movie, but he has kind of avoided all kinds of promotions so that he could stay on as a pilot and keep flying. Because that's what he loves the most. So the movie also starts with him as a test pilot for the Navy. So he's part of a special aviation program that is currently being tested. It's called Darkstorm, and unfortunately, when he arrives for testing that morning, the admiral in charge, which is played by Ed Harris, you saw him in the trailer. So Ed Harris's character is kind of informed that they've decided to scrap the program and redirect the funds for that program into a program for drones. Which of course, Tom Cruise character, he's not ready for, and he's a maverick, of course. So he disobeys orders, he gets on the aircraft, and you should see the aircraft. It kind of looks like a alien spaceship or something. So he gets on it and he takes off. By that time, the admiral arrives at the at the airbase, and he sees that that Tom Cruise's character is flying the aircraft, and he tells him, I gave orders that we'll be scrapping this project, but they say, oh, I'm sorry sir, we didn't receive those orders, so we decided to test it anyway. So the admiral is forced to witness the testing. The objective is to reach Mach 10, which is of course lots faster than the speed of sound itself. And it's an exciting little introduction and an exciting sequence also for the movie. So I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but it was a lot of fun to watch the entire scene play out in the movie theater. Without giving too much spoilers, of course, the test is a success, as a result of which everyone in the program are able to continue with the program itself. They're not scrapping the project, so everyone employed in the program are able to stay, and that was the objective of Tom Cruise. Although he didn't want people to lose the job or lose the project because of that. So the admiral, and this is kind of a theme in the movie also, the admiral tells him in advance that his kind of the kind of pilot that he is, it's going to become redundant at some point, because now they have drones. There is the possibility of automated flights. They don't have to rely on pilots who can get tired, who can get scared. He tells him all of this, and Tom Cruise is he's listening to all of this, but he can't say anything. It's a superior officer, so he just listens to him, and the admiral says, no, your kind is going to go extinct. And it's not just him being a pilot, they're kind of talking about him as an actor and as a superstar, because in a way Tom Cruise, I feel, is sort of the last Hollywood superstar or movie star. His kind of movie star is kind of slowly fading away. That's the main thing. Now you are going to the movie theater and cheering for an Iron Man or a Captain America or any of those characters. You're not really going in for the actor. So that they are kind of alluding to that when they're talking about this scene, and it's very powerful itself. But Tom Cruise, the character in the end, says maybe, but not today. They can still keep going. That's the point of it. They can still keep trying. So I just thought it was a very powerful scene, not just for him as an actor or a superstar, but also in terms of the story, also how they're taking it forward. The admiral's initial reaction is they want to ground him because he disobeyed orders, but to his rescue comes Tom Kasinsky, aka Iceman, played by Val Kilmer. So basically what Tom Kasinsky does over here is that he orders Pete Maverick, who's kind of said no to all kind of promotions, so he's still a captain. So he kind of orders give instructions for Maverick to come back to Top Gun and be an instructor there. So if you remember at the end of the first movie, Tom Cruise's character says that he wants to stay on as an instructor. So in this movie, it says that he stayed on as an instructor for 2 months, but after that he hasn't gone back to being an instructor. He's been a test pilot with the Navy all this while. So initially he's reluctant to take on that role. He tells that he's not a teacher. It's been 30 years since he actually was an instructor at Top Gun. So he doesn't want to go back to that. The admiral wants to ground him. His only other option is to go with being an instructor at Top Gun. That's the only way he can keep flying. That's the only way he can keep doing what he loves. And again, Admiral Kasinsky or Tom Kasinsky, played by Val Kilmer, who's his friend, he sort of gives him that opportunity. Now coming back to Top Gun itself, things are not as straightforward as it was before. You see, they are running a special program. They're going to take about 8 of the top pilots at Top Gun. That is, the Top Gun itself, it trains the very best pilots. Now out of the very best pilots of each batch, they've taken the top 1%, and out of the top 1% they've chosen 8 pilots. Now these 8 pilots are the best of the best. So these guys are the best of the best. So who's going to train the best of the best? And that's where Pete Mitchell's character comes in. The mission is quite dangerous, as it requires them to go into the enemy's territory. Now they very smartly avoided naming who the enemy is, so it's open to interpretation. But here they just keep referring to the enemy as the enemy. The idea here is that the enemy has a secret arsenal of nuclear weapons, so they have a special delivery for uranium, I believe. So they want to destroy that facility, which is actually underground. Now the only way to reach over there is for them to fly very close to the earth. So it's like 100 or 200 meters above earth. That's how close they have to fly the aircraft over the facility and bomb it. They have surface to air missiles, so if they rise above the 100 or 200 meter mark over there, they'll be able to detect it on the radar, the enemies, and they'll be able to fire at the aircraft. So it's a very risky maneuver, and also it's very difficult to fly that low and to maintain that speed and to bomb, etc. So that's where Pete Mitchell comes in. He has to train these pilots to do that, because he's the only pilot who can really do that, pull off that. So there are time limits, like 2.5 minutes or something to get this done. And as they fly, also they have to fly out of a valley. So it's an entire mountaintop. They have to keep rising. So as this plane, as they keep flying at the speed that they're flying in and rising, there is gravity force. That's why they keep calling 3Gs, 4Gs, 5Gs. So it's like 10, 12 Gs, 9, 10 Gs, 9 times gravity, 10 times gravity. That's the force you feel when you start rising on those planes. So it's a very difficult conditions, and it's very tricky. So, and it's absolutely exhilarating to watch all this play out on screen, because they show the testing, they show how they're training for this special mission. It is absolutely thrilling. You can't take your eyes off the screen, and they show all this play out. So this is the main plot. Final thoughts and rating. The best thing about this movie, yes, great visuals, great stunts and everything, but the best thing about this movie is the climax, and I'll tell you why. The movie, as it nears its ending, as per the discussions and in the movie, the story, etc., you kind of know where it's going, right? But when you get there, you think, oh, this is the climax, and you're watching it, and it's a great little scene and all that, but it's kind of a climax to the climax. And I was watching it and I thought, wow, I'm really happy, I'm really satisfied, great. But there's a twist to the story, and suddenly you realize that wasn't the climax, this is the climax. And it genuinely surprised me. That's why I say, nowadays it's very, very difficult to surprise the audience. The movies that can do that, you're going to have long-time fans for that movies, and that's what this movie has done. It surprised me. It really, really surprised me that because when you think the movie is over, there's another 20 minutes to it, and it's not bad thing that there's another 20 minutes to it, because the movie is really good. I was really enjoying it, but then there's another 20 minutes of exciting action and story and adventure, everything left for things to play out as it is. And it also there is a sort of an emotional completion also to certain story and characters, that they kind of when they start off the movie, they showed these things, right? So there is a kind of a conclusion to all those things as well. And again, it was absolutely exciting to watch it on the big screen. It was a very interesting plot point also in the story itself, and then they go for the ending also. Perfect way to end the story. When I look at it, this movie, you don't yes, it is a continuation to the first Top Gun, but at the same time, you don't necessarily need to watch the first movie, because they provide enough information here for you to understand what happened in the first movie to understand the story of the second movie as well. Having said that, if you do watch the first Top Gun movie also, it gives a little more emotional context to what's going on. So in short, this is a movie that not only thrilled and excited me but also surprised me. My rating for this movie is 5 out of 5. It is the perfect Hollywood blockbuster that needs to be seen on the biggest screen in the best movie theaters you can find. If you are a movie lover, then do not miss this movie experience in a movie theater. That's my review, guys. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up icon, and of course subscribe to my channel for more reviews and videos like this. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Bye.